This audio segment extract is a commentary by Ashra Kwesi, lecturing to the Kemetic New Tour at the Temple of Aset, or Isis, Kemetic or Egypt.
The Temple of Aset, brothers and sisters, and behind you, if you can look very closely, you can see how Aset was chiseled out. I said to you yesterday, she was chiseled out, but notice that the sun was not chiseled out. Why is it that the sun is not chiseled out? Because we still go to church on Sunday, and have sunrise service, so they're here, they're still deifying the sun. But you're truly the children of the sun, because Ra has kissed you from the dawn of time. But that area, you see the Aset throne on top of the sun, symbolizing that that is Aset. So when Theodosius and Justinian came here in the 4th and 6th century AD, they are the ones who closed this temple down. Not only did they close it down, but they also started to plagiarize many ideas from this temple where it ended up in the Western world. For instance, you see the Ark of Aset that you see right behind me. It's from here where the Ark was taken out from the Holies of the Holies, and the priests, the Kari head priests at this time, were called the Pastori. That's where the Western world got the term pastor from. Because during this time of the Ptolemies, these were the Pastori priests who carried the Ark over to that island called Bigger Island. As I showed you right here, the same idea, where the carrying of the Ark of the Black Madonna in France, as I said before, this temple, as I repeated again, was named after this temple right here, Père Aset, later became Paris, France, and the Notre Dame temple was copied from here. And you see the Ark right here, where they still have, at this time, Mary being black and Jesus being black. Look at the white men carrying the Ark of Mary, which was no other than a takeoff of the Ark of Isis that you see right here on the temple from the original Opet festival, showing where the priest took Isis' Ark to go and meet her husband Osiris. At this time, they still had Mary as black. She was not white here, showing the procession that they have in Europe that was originally copied from African people. And keep in mind, it was St. Luke is the one who made the first Mary as being black. That was St. Luke. And the back part of the Mimizi house, which is the birthing house, you will see the goddess Aset. And here's the goddess Aset right here, but you'll notice that she's chiseled out. What makes the Italian, European Madonna and Child more sacred than yours when you had it first? She was called the Theotokos. What is the Theotokos? She was called the Mother of God. She was worshipped all over Europe, known as the Herculean worship of the goddess Aset. So here we see an ancient spiritual story passed down through the millenniums, and we have no idea that its origin started right here, but yet this one is supposed to be so pagan and so heathen. Well, if it was supposed to be so pagan and so heathen, why would they copy the same exact idea of the Madonna and Child? So here's where the original story began at, brothers and sisters. So that's what we're trying to reveal to you. These things are not told to these groups who are coming up in here. They're not telling her about the original goddess right here where it all began, where she was de-Africanized at the conference of Ephesus in 431 AD. You need to study those ecumenical conferences, because it's at those ecumenical conferences where they literally copied this from. That's why they're more interested in what I'm saying over there, looking at you, because we're over here telling the truth. They're not even paying no attention to their guide over there. All right? Now let's go up into the Mimizi house. We're going to have to line up like this here. Brothers and sisters, again, we want to show you some reliefs. It took me years coming here studying these reliefs on the temples. Thank you, sister. And seeing where many of the concepts were literally taken from African people. Keep in mind when Theodosius and Justinian came in to Africa, for many years they came in as plunderers of this temple right here. And why did they close it down? As I said before, they closed it down because they were stealing many of their theological concepts right up out of Africa. And that's what we want to deal with right here. Now here we have Isis, as our ancestors called her Aset, with her holy child. Why did they chisel it out? Justinian is the one who closed this temple down, where many of our Nubian brothers and sisters used this temple and saw Isis and Horus as sacred until the coming of Justinian, where they closed it down to forbid our brothers and sisters to worship the first Madonna and Child. The first Trinity came directly from African people. Why did they chisel it out? Because you were on this temple. And here she is right here. Now, this is the African goddess that goes back 4,100 years BC, the Madonna and Child. You see her lactating the holy child horse right here. This was the African goddess that had to be chiseled out. And sister, you come over here for a second. Come right on over here for a second. All right? We see something here?
Yeah.
This goddess here was our soul, was our spirit. And that's what had to be eradicated to start the spiritual enslavement of African people. So the stopping of the worshiping the goddess was literally the stopping of the worshiping of our women, our children, and us as an African family. That's why they came in and tried to hack her out, as you see on the reliefs right here. Coming back for an...
John Henry Media Network is a living memorial from John Henry Harris, Jr. to his father, John Henry Harris, Sr., who passed on June 29, 2015, a black man who dedicated his life to the growth and development of a great number of young black men and women in the Pensacola, Florida, youth athletics programs.